Well, we say good evening, ladies and gentlemen. With barely, let's say barely 12 hours since Kizz Daniel left Liberia. You all know what happened to the concert that was flopped. We managed to reach out to the owner of the company, McKelline and Company, from the United States that brought Kizz Daniel into the country. We follow the Nigerian blog. We see a lot of negative stuff there about Liberian entertainment industry. We follow the Liberian blog. We see some folks are blaming the Liberian artists. Some are blaming poor planning. Some are blaming collaborations and so forth. But no matter what side of the coin you're on, it is important to hear from the horse's mouth. Again, the lady you see here is McKelline Wilson. She is the owner of the company. It was her idea to bring in Kizz Daniel into Liberia. And who she collaborated with. Did she contact somebody on the ground? Who did they accept her and all of that? So you're gonna hear from her instead of all of this say and who didn't say. What happened last night at the hotel? How did Kizz Daniel leave? What was his thought and all of that? McKelline, welcome to Lena Panorama.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I mean, for you, after this big, that's a huge loss of your earnings and all of that, for you to have come back here, you know, to want to, set the record straight. Why is it important?
It's very important because I just want to make sure that I clear up some of the misinformation that is, just spreading the airwave and set the record straight, as you said. Make sure that the truth is told.
Okay. And I don't mean to what it's a name, because it's a good timing that you're here now, and it is important that folks out there will listen. I know people have started to say the organizers, some are blaming Kizz Daniel and all of that. First question, your company's fault or Kizz Daniel's fault?
Well, it's not fault.
I just need one answer. Who is it the fault? Because this is out there. People are blaming Kizz Daniel.
So
is it your company's fault, or you're taking the blame? Let me just put it.
We accept full responsibility.
Not Kizz Daniel.
Kizz Daniel at all.
Not Kizz Daniel.
Daniel has had nothing to do with it. He
so let me just clear this part off before we start.
Yes.
Are you saying that Kizz Daniel respected every part of whatsoever agreement?
Absolutely. He did it. Even when they got here late.
Who fault was it that they got here late?
It was our fault because
Your fault?
Yes.
So Kizz Daniel came into the country late. It was your fault.
Yes, because we paid the private jet company later. The money got when we sent the wire.
Explain that part. So Kizz was prepared
to come. Yes.
6 a.m. that morning.
Yes, he was.
He was prepared, packed everything.
Right.
But he came 11 p.m. in the night.
Right.
What was the cause?
Because we had wired. When you're transferring large sums of money, wiring it, the IRS suspects fraud because it was coming direct. The money was coming directly from
the U.S.
From the U.S.
So
to Nigeria.
To Nigeria.
Yes.
So it was that IRS thing.
It held.
So they held the money up.
And so
wow.
the private jet company didn't get the payment on time.
So it was like the IRS were trying to protect you as a U.S. citizen.
Yes. They put out a fraud alert.
Okay.
Yes. And that's the reason why they didn't get it. But even the private jet company was still willing to work with us. They were really good, and they really pushed for us. And at the very last minute, we were able to get everything through. And then, but what ended up happening now because of the delay?
Yeah. So okay, so you made that part. You made that part, and we're gonna. I want you to take your time. I know you've done all of this, but I don't want them to be like, oh, this say, because here in Liberia they're putting all stuff on there and all of that, and you myself know how the IRS and these people they work, and especially that kind of money going to Nigeria. They thought maybe you were laundering money and all of that, so that delay kept, and at some point, because of the delay, okay, so Kizz Daniel arrives that night. With the hope that he would perform that night, but things didn't go. When you decide to postpone the event, whose idea was it, and what did Kizz tell you?
Well, we had a meeting, and so, well, actually, when they arrived, Fu asked me, and he said, "So, where do we go from here? How do we make this, correct this? How do we fix it? Let's come together and find a resolution." So I said,
that was the December 30th night.
Yes. As soon as he came in from the airport, as soon as I greeted him, he's like, McKelline, what are we going to do next? How are we going to make sure that we fix it? Are we performing tonight? And then I said, well, let's get you guys to your hotel. We can sit and discuss it, and then we'll see how we go forward. Yeah. And
to those of you watching, if you have any legitimate questions, you put them there. I will ask them. And I will make sure, because in this country and for the work we do, we just make sure we make sure that we come out clean and ask the tough questions. Okay, one thing that you are faulted for is poor planning, pre-plan. You didn't contact. Let me show you the litany or florist of concerns people had. You were disrespectful. The program was poorly planned. You came into a room. You didn't ask for the Romans or what the Romans do. You disrespected the artists. All of this. Before you came into Monrovia, did you contact entertainers, bloggers? Or let's say
promoters,
influencers, promoters. Handle that part.
Yes. So before we had been communicating, Bindu, Bindu was working with me. She had a lot of connection. Even Myers. Okay. Myers were working with us because I'm not from here. I relied on Myers and I relied on other people who had connections. But the connections were made. There were several promotions. I was told, McKelline, if you're going into Liberia, you have to connect with XYZ, and then you can.
They gave you some names.
They gave me a list of name of people, and they actually didn't just give me a name. Connected. We had conversations prior to me coming here with each one of those people.
Who are those people?
So we had conversation with Double H.
Double H.
We had conversation with DJ Blue.
DJ Blue.
We had conversation with this guy, Siku Fofana.
Okay.
And who else, Mike?
Master Queen.
Well, he had conversation at that time. I didn't have.
With Master Queen.
But those were, and then we had conversation with a couple of the security people, the people that were in charge of the security.
Do you have a name?
We had communication with A.B. Kroma.
Okay, for A.B. Kroma security.
Yes, okay. And then there was another security from the guy named.
When was this time that you had this conversation with all of these people?
We had conversation about 4 or 5 months ago.
4 or 5 months ago.
Yes,
but people are saying that you didn't contact these people at all.
That's not true. Bindu was the one who actually contacted them while we were planning. I started planning last year. 6 months into it, I had a list of things that we needed to accomplish, a timeline.
Mind you, you're in a new year now, so you're talking 2021.
2020, yes. We started 2021. Okay. When I came in October of 2021, and when I left, and I came up with the idea of having a fundraiser, some kind of concert to raise money. So, and right then and there, I started planning, contacting people, talking to people about the idea. But then a lot of people, investors, I started to call. A lot of people hesitated. A lot of people didn't have the money. A lot of people gave excuses. And so for a while, it kind of died down. But I had that burning desire to do it. And then later on, it came back to me again, and I said, you know what, I must do this. And that's when I took up I wrote everything down that I wanted to do and talk about. So then I started contacting people. And in the midst of contacting people, my partners and we sat down. I brought it to them, actually, when I had the idea. I brought it to my partner because the Kizz Daniel concert was something separate from, what McKelline and Company normally does. So I brought it to my partners and I said, I have this idea to do a concert. And they thought about it. And they came back and said, you know what, based upon your plan, I gave them a proposal. And they looked at it and they said, McKelline, I think this is going to be a great proposal. It looks like we can really benefit based upon what you've put down on paper. And so how do we move forward? And then I also wrote down a timeline. And he can tell you, I attested that. I sent it to him. And there was Cassandra from Golden Touch. I had contacted her to manage the entire thing on ground while I wasn't here. I sent her the project timeline, and we started. Talking to people, and I had asked them, because I wasn't in the music industry, Cassandra introduced me to Young Sparks and a couple of other.
So you met, basically, you want to, I don't want to be,
right.
Because the reason why I decided to do this interview in the first place is to dispel some of these rumors that are out there.
Exactly.
And so they will know. People will always think what they want to think. So it's just like, so
in a nutshell,
you contacted people on the ground. So you arrived in the country.
Yes.
Did you see these people in person? Did you hold meeting with them?
Yes. So prior before I came, Bennu then became like an assistant to me. She arranged several different meetings for me. One of the first meeting I had at Royals, Myers was there. It was Double H. It was A.B. Chroma. It was DJ Blue was invited, but he didn't show up. I think he was sick or something. And it was Sekou Fofana.
Okay.
And then Myers was there, So that was the meeting we had. That was the first meeting.
In that meeting, what did you get from that meeting?
Well, first of all, Double H told me right off the bat that I should sell it to one of the political parties.
That's what they told you?
That's what Double H told me.
He said you should sell it to, and then...
Yeah, he said, I'm going to fail. You're going to fail. You're not going to do it. I'm being honest with you.
Wow.
Sell it to one of the political
Why you didn't
parties.
listen to him?
That was my dream. And I felt like I was...
But he's on the ground. He said that nobody can pull it off by themselves. And this is somebody, Double H, been doing this for forever. And he suggested that sell it to either a corporation or a political party. And you can listen.
But you have to realize that this is my dream. You don't just have a dream and then you just sell it without making an effort. You understand? I felt like I was selling out. And I felt like just because someone else or other people fail, that doesn't mean I will fail.
Wow.
You understand? So this is the reason. But I asked him, I said, okay, so can you tell me what are some of the things that will cause me? I need you to advise me. Can you come on board and help me?
You asked Double H?
Yes, I did. He said, I don't want to be a he's a promoter. I don't want to be a promoter of the show. I would just be a consultant on the side. We set up a list. That's what he told you. That's what he told me. We have a chat room, Kizz Daniel, a consulting chat room with a bunch of them in there that was consulting, and they gave us some ideas, and I was appreciative of the ideas that they gave us. And we used the positive as well as the negative that they were giving us.
But let's look at what Double H told you. If you look at what he said today, do you think what he said at the time he was right?
Absolutely. He was absolutely right. So basically...
Do you have any regrets that you didn't take his advice?
I don't do regrets.
Okay.
Because I had to see it through. I felt...
You wanted to go for it.
Yes, because I felt like I would have failed had I not seen it through. You understand what I'm saying? I had to. I just couldn't say, okay, here it is. I have this dream. I'm gonna sell it to you. You know what I mean? I'm gonna sell my dream to somebody else. I mean, really, it's just, for me, it didn't, you know. And I don't regret it because there's a lot of life lessons.
Wow.
Yes.
So fast forward. This is another elephant in the room. There are a lot of elephants in the room.
Yes.
One of them is that you're, I don't want to use the word flagrant, like you just didn't care about these artists to the point where everybody was just writing everywhere and all of that. Talk about what happened. I don't know. You don't have to call name. Please don't say no artist name here. Yeah. Okay? But what really happened? Do you have regrets on the way, on the exchange between you and these artists?
Again, I don't regret stuff,
okay.
But yeah. I learned lessons.
Okay. What was the lesson you learned?
The lesson that I learned is that our people have limited sight. We see today, but we don't see tomorrow. Okay. We look at only what I can benefit today.
On that spot.
Yes. And as far as the artists, I looked at it like this. You know, the ones that were asking for money up front, what I'm saying to you, you're willing to forfeit $1 million deal in the future for $1,000 today? If you sacrifice your time and effort and put everything you could in.
But they had a legitimate concern. They're like, you know, in our Liberian pub, our pie can ball. We know dry dog sweet, but what you will be eating before the dog gets dry, before they get to that 1 million. They're saying, yeah, go ahead.
I was told that a lot of the artists in Liberia, basically, you know, there's not much work. So
like big shows being they've been hired.
Yeah, because to keep themselves up, and like a lot of the internet and the entertainment industry is tough everywhere.
It is.
Okay, so Young Sparks here he's a artist. He's an aspiring artist, and when he came to me, he said to me, Miss McKelline, he honestly did say to me, Miss McKelline, why are you having a concert with, you know, such a big artist? Why don't we start with our Liberian artists first?
Okay, so you told her that you should start with Liberian artists. What did you say to her?
I told her, Ms. McKelline, I think if you want to get the Liberian audience, if you want to adapt to the culture, we should start with Liberian artists. From there, you can go to international. But what she said was, I want to invest in the Liberian music industry. So I want to do a show that will raise the fund. That when we do a concert, we'll be able to build a state-of-the-art recording studio. So just doing a concert with Liberian artists, I don't think it would generate
the kind of money
fund
she was looking for.
For me, I look at it from different perspectives, because in business, you want to chase what's trending. So she was looking at the global market in terms of the industry or the entertainment. So that's why she went for Kizz, because she felt that it's
okay.
It's a hit artist.
So let's go back to her. Okay, yeah. So then you went for, yeah. So but what's that what can we put to rest concerning all of this hullabaloo going around that?
I love Liberian artists. I'm a Liberian, and I'm here to support Liberian artists, and I want to pay Liberian artists. I never refuse to pay Liberian artists. I never refuse to bring them on. But what I said to them is, this is a Kizz Daniel show. We need to make sure that Kizz Daniel is paid, because if Kizz Daniel is not paid and he doesn't come, there will be no show for the artist to perform. So let's focus on making sure that Kizz Daniel gets here, and then all of you guys will have an opportunity to perform as well. And it's not that I was putting down, I would never do that. There were several artists that I even, you know, encouraged and talked, because I love I love Liberian music.
Okay, let's talk about another thing. Amidst all of this, you say one, I know we're not going to address all the little chicanery and all of that. But now that you've talked about the biggest elephant in the room, you take the responsibility. You spoke about the IRS, and that, I mean, if nobody gets that, I get that. A lot of people fall in, get that. That once you're doing a wire transfer, even Western Union now, they're asking the maximum you could send from here to America is 500. Yeah, even if you send $1,000, it would take 3 days before they get their money. Now, so Kizz Daniel said he wanted to do the show tonight, according to him. January 1st. I was there. I heard him when we were sitting right among everybody there, including other reporters that were there. Why you didn't take the date that Kizz Daniel proposed to you? He said he canceled all his other. He showed you that he had a concert somewhere else in Nigeria. He canceled it. He wanted to do the show tonight.
Yes.
Why you didn't go with what the artist told you? But you say you wanted to go at a time where there was wash night and all of that.
Yeah, because they were here and they came with a private jet. The private jet was costing us $1,000 a night. I mean, sorry, $1,000 an hour. And excuse me, that was been additional funds to
$1,000 an hour.
An hour. That
so you were talking about 24,000 to another 30K.
Yes, to wire again. You understand? And
to another Nigerian.
Yes, and all of those things. So we thought about it, and then we contacted the private jet company. He told us, he said, you know, you guys can do it, but I won't advise it. I would advise that Kizz and his team leave, because in order for us to do that, I have to hold my crew online, and it's going to even cost you more than that. So when Dr. Jeffries and I spoke about it.
So you guys were trying that. So you talk about him holding his crew, all of that will cost you more money.
Yes. Yes. So when Dr. Jeffries talked and I sat down and we discussed it, and we said, you know what, we went back to Kizz's team and we said, you know, we would prefer that you do it at 10:00. And he said, I would like to perform at night because I think the show would be much better if I want to do it at 7:00.
Yeah.
You know, and then we said, well, and there was a situation too with the stadium being pre-booked for another event.
Yeah, because I knew there was a game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we had to clarify all of that, and before we could get the okay for the 7:00 thing. And so we were able to get the 7:00 thing, and it was a risk.
There are people who were saying that one of the things they said that Kizz didn't want to perform. He's proud. He's this. He's that. Talk about when he went for the sound check. Yes. I heard that. Yeah.
Yes.
He even bought microphones and all that.
Well,
so
this is what happened when Falou actually went to the stadium to do because he went to do the pre-check.
Mm-hmm.
He checked to see if all the equipment they requested that the
that's what international artists they do. They come with all the engineers, backup singers and all of that, and they do these dry runs, 2-3 hours before the main art, make sure that nothing, go ahead.
Yeah, so when he recognized that some of the microphones were missing, he actually paid for them. He gave them the money to pay for it. And the guy from the company told me, he said, your artists pay for us to buy certain microphones, and I appreciate it because we didn't have those microphones.
Wow. How many hours did they stay for sound check, Kizz's team?
Probably about 2 hours, Mike.
Yeah. 2 hours.
Yeah, they stay for about 2 hours.
So after that, but did y'all consider that, Liberia is the only country here in the West Coast, Ivory Coast, the plantain is like, they don't care. They don't go to church on that night. They don't do what we do here. Guinea is the same. Ghana is the same. The 31st night, the streets are overcrowded. That's when people do these big shows. Mm-hmm. You see all of that, even New York and all of that. But did you consider that here, churches are all over the place?
Yeah, that was one of the things we considered. But most people are telling us that, and that was another thing. Most people are telling us that people will go to wash night, mm-hmm. and then after wash night,
They will all
come
flood
out. They
off.
will come to the.
They will all flood.
Yeah, because Fulu and I was communicating while I was there, and I sent him. He said, McKelline, this is what he said to me. He said, McKelline, if it's at least 60%, we can start coming. And I sent him some pictures. And when he said, we have to just wait. And I told him, he said, it's your call. What would you want us to do? He actually said to me, he said, you know what, McKelline, to be honest with you, you can go back to Dr. Jeffries and you think about this. If you guys think you're saving a few dollars, you're going to lose. If you were sacrificed, he was basically talking about us doing it today, meaning that if we were to say, okay, let's go ahead and pay for the private jets and then just do the show today, we would do much better. But I guess that's where I will honestly say it was a poor decision that we made by choosing to do it that night rather than this night.
Another thing was the tickets.
The tickets sales was a big issue because before coming to Liberia, we consulted people. We asked, what is it like on the ground when people are having events? What is the best means of selling tickets? Especially when Marty says, Miss McKelline, people like to buy paper tickets. So I said, you know what? I have my investors to report to. If we're selling tickets, I know even in the United States, when you're doing events and you take a ticket here, take a ticket there, sometimes when you go collect your money, you have to fight with people. If they make excuses, oh, I don't have it, and this person didn't buy, that one is lost. So I said, if we set it up electronically, we don't have to bother with all of that. And we also consulted people that said, if you print paper tickets, your event will be packed. But at the end of the night, when you go to reconcile your cash or whatever, you will find that you have lost. And they say it happens all the time because of fraud. People will duplicate your tickets and resell it or whatever the case may be.
So you went with the online version.
So we went with the online version for that reason, yes.
So Kizz Daniel, when he left, first before we talk about what happened after, the only Liberian artist, and the reason why I'm about to call his name is because of of what happened, was Teddy Rai, was the only person who were able to spend 2 hours with Kizz in his room. You want to talk about that, Myers?
Yeah.
Okay, talk about that.
So basically, Teddy Rai is an honest artist. He understands music when it comes to business and how you build brand. So he was one of the artists that spoke, positively when it comes to Liberian artists working along with the organizers, with us to do the show. So based on his relationship, his statement he made on his page, it touched the heart of Kizz. And I mean, Kizz followed him. He's the only artist that Kizz followed. So actually, Kizz love Liberian artists, but based on how he saw things, you mentioned deleting stuff because more people started writing things against him, like he didn't do what he's supposed to do, or some people said the show was flawed, we were lying, all kinds of things. So to avoid negative comments, he deleted all of these things. And honestly, right now,
also the reason he deleted all of those from on his page.
And because of the negative comments.
Yes.
First before he deleted, he restricted the comments. You understand? Because people were commenting, but he noticed that it was going out of hand, so he deleted it. And right now, I can
Do you know
say,
what kind of conversation he had with Teddy Rai?
No, for that I can't tell. But I believe that he was cool with all the artists. Even after you did the interview, he shook all of their hands. So he was cool with them. So Kizz not an artist that got problem with doing rubbing shoulder with Liberian artists because he's an African. So I mean, he didn't have any problem when it comes to that. So what I want to say right now, one of the problem I'm saying is that Nigerian artists or international artists are having problem with Liberian artists.
Let me read this comment, and this is directed to you. This is coming from Christopher Peel, and he said, "My sister, Double H honor my your show, yeah. It's not him." Let me see what he says here. Okay. what he said. Okay. It is not him. It can be anyone. He paid those artists to stay away from your show.
Wow.
Double H, that's his view. This person, that's his view. I know. Don't wow on that. Yeah. Double H want to be the only person doing that in Liberia, and those artists who did this to you will one day know that this dude, that this dude is not blah blah blah. And I know what is this is just his opinion, and it is not a fact.
Right.
Yeah. So what you say to Christopher Peel? You just let it be. Okay. And okay. Kizz Daniel, before he left, said that he was going to refund you 50%. Because he followed all that happened, and he pitied your condition.
Well, yeah, Kizz Daniel really, if you go on his page, he really helped us promote. The minute they landed, they started promoting. After our meeting, they said, guys, we're not going to sleep. You guys go do what you have to do to get the people out there to pack the stage. We will do what we have to do. And they did. Mm-hmm. They went online and they posted. He posted all kinds of positive statements about how he loved Liberia. How even in the interview, he talked about how, 98% of Liberians in North Carolina supported him.
Yeah, I heard that.
Our president and everything. He talks about, he said he saved the best for last. All of those positive comments that he was saying, promoting Liberia. And then they started saying negative things about him, things that weren't true, things that they don't know. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I would have deleted those comments myself, because I felt bad for him. Kizz Daniel is a performer. He's an artist. He's an African. Mm-hmm. He loved working with other African artists. As young as he is, he has produced for some other artists, right?
Yeah.
He works with other people. So when in the interview that night, he got up. After you interview him, like Maya said, he shook each and every one to say, we're brothers. I'm not above any of you. This industry, and he said it, he said, I'm not going to tell you that there's a formula. The only thing that I'm going to tell you is that trust in God, because it's God that makes this all happen in hard work.
Wow.
So, he was supportive and giving them advice. And he came to Liberia to perform for us. Mm-hmm. So for us to go and then start castigating him, start saying all kinds of negative things about us. Mm-hmm. So, and even at that, even after all of that, because he had said in the contract that he wouldn't perform to an empty stadium.
Okay. Yeah, talk about that.
Right. So in the contract, if it says that you're not going to perform to it, so we're taking that risk, because when you are doing a show or anything, it's risky. So we took the risk. But like
so he pre-told you that, that he was not going to perform in an empty stadium.
Because he's a brand. This young man is building a brand. He had performed to 80,000, 90,000 crowd, and this is how he's already put in his deal. Like he said, he has actually, before he got to where he was, he performed for free many times to build his brand. When you're crawling up the ladder, sometimes you do have to do charitable work to get you to where you need to be. Okay? And that's what he said. But now that he has built his brand, he wants to maintain that reputation. But even at that, he still agreed to pay us back 50%. He said, let's sit down and we'll give you back 50% of, what you
How did you
us.
feel when he said that?
That amazing, because some other artists would say, I'm taking you to court or whatever. Mm-hmm. But he didn't. He was actually, he and his team were willing to work with us to make this, because that's the first thing that Falou said. He said, McKelline, how can we sit down and see how we can make this thing happen? We're canceling our show for tomorrow because we're here in Liberia. We want to make sure that it works.
Okay, let's go to this comment from this, somebody said, Where's he said my okay, let me see. There was a positive comment I just saw. Okay, somebody was telling you, wow. So, and I know we owe our Liberians. You're back into the country to invest. You know, put money back. You're from the diaspora.
Yes.
And I know a lot of diasporans watching, you know, have been duped. That's the word I want to use. And I take responsibility of it. I know a couple of diasporans who've sent money here to their relatives to build their houses. They come home and they don't see the land before they sing and all of that. I know a guy who have spent almost close to $1 million to build a house, and his brother was taking picture of the Boulevard Palace at the time they started the construction. He was showing that picture, and the brother thought he had a house in Sinker. You understand?
Yeah.
Up to the completion. And there's a lot been happening. People in the diaspora work so hard. I was there, you know, 9 to 5, and you send your money home, and it's all of that. You work hard, brought your money here to invest. It didn't go well with you.
Well, Courtney,
Who do you blame?
I would tell you that I blame myself because I've had this experience before where I've sent money. This project that I'm working on, I've been working on it for over 20 years because of the same situation. You deal with people, you trust them, and they're not honest. But I have never given up because I believe at some point we have to change the narrative. We can't give up. We got to keep trying. And I keep pushing. People told me, my family members, my friends, McKelline, why are you going to that country? You crazy. Why are you bothering with those people? Those people don't want anything. Those people are going to drain you dry. That's what I hear all the time. But I still believed. My partner and I, we still took
So
the risk.
all the Liberians living there warn you.
Yes.
I know you say you don't have any regrets, but looking at your circle and the way you worked, I know some places you go when it's supposed to cost 1,000 and they hear Kizz Daniel name, they say 10,000, and the prices were going back and forth and all of that. You care to talk about something like that?
You mean the ticket price?
It don't matter what ticket price. I don't mean any specific thing, but did you get something like that where prices went up, balloon because of Kizz?
Prices went up because I think they heard my accent.
Wow.
I still have a Liberian accent, but you know, I've been there for a long time. So when people hear my accent, the price jack goes up. Like there was this one place I went, the thing cost $5. By the time they heard my accent, it became $30.
To even see you laughing, you know, it's amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing. Yeah. Some people are saying you're going to succeed and all of that.
Thank you.
I mean, those of you coming up with these comments, what his name say, you love your positive energy.
Thank you.
Humility is the bedrock. You know, guys, the comments keep coming, pop up like that. So you should have, my dear sister, please don't give up. The law of God is with you. Our people. Let's be honest. I feel bad for her. You know, a lot of positive comment coming out. I don't want to read the other one about Double H. Don't give up, sis, says Serena. You did a great job. Folks are saying all of that. I feel your pain. That's from Musa. You know, the fact that you travel, you know, and all of that. My advice to this is she should plan again. Keep the courage. I'm so sorry. That's from Zanga David. You're looking funny. The picture of our country is very sad. And let me stick with what Jonathan said. The optics of our country.
Oh.
And I want you to talk about that. You were reading the Nigerian blog. Yeah. What are they saying there about?
They created a bad signal. Like Nigerian artists, I think blog said Nigerian artists would not love to collaborate with Nigerian Liberian artists because they feel like.
You know the name of that blog?
I can't really tell, but
okay.
It's an international blog.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe this what happened had gone viral.
Yeah, but Kizz is a brand.
Yeah, it's a brand. So what I would say to Liberian artists is, I personally am a Liberian artist, but I believe in serving. Because anywhere you would be or reach in life, you have to be humble.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how much money you want, you still have to serve. All these people that are up there today, they was one town.
Yeah.
So we have to, try to work around international artists. That's why the company we're looking at, how to bring the international audience to our aid. Because if our music keep going internationally, our artists will get paid. Look at all our Liberian artists who go into other countries to perform. Mm-hmm. It's because our music have gone international. So bringing international artists to rock stage with Liberian artists is a promotion, it's an exposure. Mm-hmm. So Liberian artists shouldn't have refused that. They're just supposed to work and see what the company wouldn't have paid them. You understand? So this is a very bad signal. It's a very bad signal. So
what are you hearing from your circle? You an artist.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah. For my circle, I feel it's gonna be a little bit tough to have a Liberian artist now to do a collaboration with a Nigerian artist because of how they see things, how they felt that Liberian artists wouldn't perform when a B star, because the blog stated that Liberian artists don't want to recognize international artists.
And it's even risky that
yes.
the gold maybe sneak in the country and go perform, and you know how these people are.
Yeah.
And Kizz is willing to clear that image. I know he said that.
Yeah. And Liberian got a few recording studio in Nigeria. So if we keep behaving like this, perhaps they might even tell them to shut it down, because they will feel like, oh, but if y'all can appreciate our artists that are coming to your country, then we will not appreciate y'all coming to our country.
Yeah, and this is risky. You know,
Sure,
the story of Ghana must go back.
Yeah.
You know, when the Ghanaians at one point told the Nigerians to get out of the country, you know, and so that's when the Nigerians said, okay, tit for tat is fair play, and they took that particular bag and they packed all the Nigerian stuff in the lab and they say, but we hope that it doesn't reach reach that point.
And I want to clarify this. This company do respect Liberian artists. This company really want to work with Liberian artists. That's why they said they were doing this concert as a fundraiser to invest in the Liberian music industry. We have meeting with a couple of artists. We spoke to them about it. This company was willing to take underground artists to raise them to stardom. That's why our goal to build a state of an art recording studio where Liberian artists can get, a quality song, can do a good, video or collaboration. So I mean, for Liberian artists to feel like we are going for international artists and we don't respect them, I think that's a wrong perception. They should have even think like that. So I just want to be clear that this company really wanted to work with Liberian artists. So they should start, thinking that, oh, we are disrespecting them or we don't want to work with them. We really want to work with Liberian artists. So we just need to be uniform. We need to be together, because that's the only way we will succeed. If we feel that, oh, we have already reached there, we don't need anybody, then trust me, nobody will come to your aid. Because before you grow, you have to hang on somebody, you have to lean on somebody. The Nigerian industry, today they are doing well because the Nigerians leave their country, they go outside to do international collabo. They don't sit. We Liberian artists want to wait on international artists come before we want to collabo. Now the company is bringing on international artists that you can perform on stage, rub shoulder and do an exposure. Yeah. Who knows? The artist could love you or something like this thing with the video took a Kobasi song and do a remix. That's an exposure for you. Yeah. But Liberian artists are not looking at it that way. They feel that, oh, we don't want to respect them. We want to pay, some. Thinking that, oh, we don't respect them. We are paying Nigerian artists so much money and not them. Which, of course, this company is one of the companies who they are contracted to pay Liberian artists $2,000. Most of the shows that go on here, Liberian artists get $700, $1,000, the highest.
And you're talking from experience.
Yes. You understand? So if this company is going to pay Liberian artists $2,000, I think it was very fair that Liberian artists work with us, because we told them that we are going to invest in the music industry. That's what we said. So I just want everything. I don't want everybody to be calm, because trust me, Miss McKelline, she still got hope that she's gonna work. She would not give up. But Liberian artists should understand that if we will grow, we have to be humble. No matter how many songs you got, no matter how many countries you have traveled, you have to be humble. So
Let
that's
me
how I
talk
say.
to you about this. Yesterday, before Kizz left, and now all the good stuff out of the way, he had to settle some of your bills. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, so what ended up happening is that people started to get angry because they had not been paid. And the tickets that we sold, a lot of them were sold through Tip Me. And the account was frozen.
You couldn't lay your...
We couldn't lay our hands on the cash right away. So Falu actually came to our aid, and because the crowd was, whatever, he wanted to calm them down, he went ahead, he said, okay, you guys, what do you need? How much is it that we need to pay? And he paid some of the bills, and I want to say...
How much money came out of the Kizz Daniel that they paid for you?
Well, I know that they ended up paying for the cars. We had,
wow.
six cars.
They paid for all of that.
They paid for the 6 cars, and I know that they paid because the guys had to leave. They couldn't wait. And then they also paid for the security. Yeah, which I want to deep a little bit into that. Yeah, they paid a little bit. You pay for the security. I think it was like what, $1,500.
$1,500,
Yeah, for the security. Yeah, so yeah.
So I know before you give your final message and all of that, if you were to do this over, what would you change? If we were to rewind this tape,
I think that I would have decided.
You would have went with double H's.
No. I'm not a quitter. I would never have taken double H's offer. And because of that, people said, oh, she didn't listen to us. She was arrogant. You couldn't talk to her. I had 50,000 things coming to people coming from different directions, giving me instructions and directions. And I had to answer to my investors. So, I mean, I've learned lessons, and in everything you learn lesson. But the most heartbreaking thing for me was the behavior of the Liberian artists, because I personally had a meeting with them, pleading with them, guys, put your arms around us. When you put your arms around us, I promise you that we will help you, we will help raise you. I am here because I want us as Liberians to rise. I want us as Liberians to change our mentality. And I know that it starts somewhere. This would have been an excellent opportunity. I felt so good when I saw that stage up, because you're working for something for so long and you're not even sure. This was a great sacrifice for me and my team, but we did it because we knew we could do it. And that's another thing, Kwame. I believed that we could have accomplished our goals, even regardless of what
profit or what are that.
Yeah, or what Double H has said. I believed that the Liberian artists was going to put their arms around us, and as long as they did, it was a wrap. That's why I decided to go for it and take that risk, take that chance. But it was heartbreaking, especially how they came at Kizz Daniel. Kizz Daniel didn't do anything wrong. Kizz Daniel came, he loved performing, he loved Liberian, and he was willing to work with us. And I can say that from personal experience. Okay?
Wow.
So it was just heartbreaking. Heartbreaking.
Wow. And I know your partner.
Dr. Jarvis.
Talk about her, and I know she's leaving tonight.
Yeah. So I felt really terrible because this woman believed in me. When I went to this part makes me emotional. I went to a lot of people to invest in me. She invested her time. Her husband told her not to leave. And she came anyway. She got here. She didn't sleep. We were running all over the place. I had 3 nights of non-sleep. These guys, we didn't eat. We wanted this show to succeed. And it breaks my heart. She was so stressed out, disappointed at the Liberian behavior. It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. I can't hardly talk because it is extremely heartbreaking. I really wish this had not happened. We weren't here to harm anybody.
Yeah. Yep. Can say that again?
We were here to help.
Yeah.
Kizz Daniel was so excited to perform in Liberia.
He was excited. I'm a witness. Even the interview he had at that place, he talked about 95% of the people who attended his concert in North Carolina were all Liberians.
Yes.
Yeah.
People told me, McKelline, when you go to Liberia, these people are going to do this. These people are going to do that. I didn't want to believe it, Kwame. But I experienced it. Guys, we got to stop this. We have to stop this. We're Africans. We're Liberians. I came here because I'm a Liberian. I was born here. I picked up an accent because I lived in the country for 40 years.
Yeah.
But that doesn't make me any less Liberian than any other. As a matter of fact, I was so proud. You know, I got an ID because of the dual citizenship thing or whatever.
Yeah.
I was so excited. With all that I see, I was so excited. But the reception was poor.
Wow.
We were castigated. As though we were castigated. They're a fraud. These people are fraud. McKelline, they put my name out there. It's going viral, saying all kind of nasty untruth.
And that's one major thing in this country. They just fabricate stuff.
Yeah.
They patrol numbers. Wow.
It's not good, guys. And it's going to backfire.
Yeah.
Just like Sparks said. It's going to backfire because a lot of international artists are not going to work with Liberians because they're going to be afraid of their brand being tarnished. You're tarnishing this young man who has worked so hard to get to where he is. When you get there, you will be demanding the same things he's demanding because you want to keep up your brand. Who can you fault him? He doesn't want to play to a empty audience. He has a reputation to avoid.
And I know one point he called you, people say, open the gates, I will foot the bill.
Yes. I mean, come on, Liberian people.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. Come on. We got to stop this fighting, hatred. I'm not here to take anybody's position. I'm not here to take anybody's spotlight. My light shines very brightly, but it doesn't dim your light.
Wow.
So let us stop this. Enough is enough. We must change the narrative. How do you think this look for us as Liberians? This stuff went viral. They say, look at those stupid Liberians fighting with each other. This guy came to perform and they castigated him because of hatred, stupidity. This is not good. I'm sorry, but this is just not good.
Let it out. You can let it out.
We have to stop it. We have to stop it, guys.
And to add to that, me being as an artist, I think we need investors. That's the only way our music will grow. So if these people coming from the diaspora to help us, we need to work with them. Because we got people in Liberia who can invest a whole lot of money in this music industry, but they are not doing it. So me personally as an artist, who convinced this lady, talk to her, oh man, we want to work with you, we will work with you. Then We don't want to work. Other artists don't want to work. They just want, oh, pay me now. I want this amount. Give it to me. If you eat your future now, what will you get ahead? You know, so this will not even be good at all. People would not even want to invest in us. So we have to start. If we want to reach out there, if we want our music to go outside, we have to remain humble. We have to work with people who want to invest in the industry. We don't need people to just tell our empty story, but people who want to invest. These people came to invest. The people want to build a reputable recording studio. These people want to help Liberian music to another level. So it's all about us putting our arms around. And to be frank, I will appreciate a few Liberian artists that I saw. One was Kobasi. Kobasi got on a flight from Ghana. He came. I met him in the hotel room. Stunner was there. I must admit.
What is his name? Angel Michael.
Angel Michael.
Yeah.
Teddy Rap. These are artists who took upon their time to come.
Yeah, Angel Michael didn't even get a dime.
He didn't get a dime.
Yeah.
He said, I abused my fish. You know?
Yeah.
For real.
And I want to say thank you to
For
you
real.
know, to those artists. It wasn't everybody, right? To those of you who did put your arms around us, who wanted this to succeed, I say thank you. Thank you very much, Angel Michael. Thank you very much, Teddy Rye. Thank you very much, Kabasi.
Even
Thank you,
Davera.
Davera. Davera's manager, I apologize to you, Jay Slud, you know, because Davera's manager, he was calling me constantly for us to sign a contract, but my phone one day it will work, the next day it won't work, and I'm not getting back, so I apologize. I didn't do anything intentional. I love you guys. You are Liberian. You're my children. I'm an older woman, and all of you are young. I have a 30-year-old son. You know, I tell I can't even remember. Myers, that, you know, he reminds me of my son. You know, I don't want to, you know, fight with you guys. It's not appropriate. So come on, you know, but thank you, the ones who did put their arms around us. I want to say thank you.
Final word.
Well, I'm not going to give up, but I think I'm going to step back for a moment and regroup and to see what's next, because this was very damaging. It was damaging to my career. It was damaging to my brand. It was damaging to me personally.
This gonna hurt you for a long time.
Yes, it is.
To repair this,
yes.
I'll be honest.
Yes, you're right. Yes, yes.
At least a good thing that you know, the cat is out of the bag, so nobody can go with you know, something out there that actually didn't happen.
Yeah.
But anyway, thank you so much. Thank guys for all of you, you know, that are here following. And the reason why you saw me, you know, trying to get to interrupt McKelline was that I just wanted the crux of this interview, and that's what I told her. We wanted the points that were out there. So when I saw her, you know, trying to go somewhere else that had nothing to do with what I wanted for there to be out, because this was to dispel all the rumors that were out there. So I apologized myself at the point that I had to interrupt her. But this to go, that's why these were all leading questions, so that we get what was going out there and all of that. I mean, we sacrifice our time. I liked it. I go all across this country for free, so I had to keep my camera. It was a good thing, you know, hanging out with Kizz and interviewing him, and had that personal, you know, we're sitting in the back of the car, he and myself, and Falu as well, and we had a lot of good conversation. You know, they had misinformation about Liberian history, so I lectured them. Yeah, and I told the guys, they were amazed. I told them how their country helped us in time of war. They didn't know anything about Ecomog and all of that story. He said, oh wow, you know, and all of that. But anyway, no matter what part of the coin you're on, we're all Liberians, and you know, there's a president's call, come home to invest, and you know, let our brothers and sisters come home. Liberia is all we have. Let's do it like Elliot said, be strong, my sister. You know, most of them will continue to become the village champion, this guy. Anyway, goodbye, guys. God bless you. And I'll see you. 1,000+ of you here watching. Take care. Bye-bye.